Moving to a new town was supposed to be exciting. New school, new friends, a fresh start. But for Mila, it felt like starting over in a place where nobody knew her. She hated being the new girl. Her parents insisted the move was for the best. Her father had a new job. Her mother wanted a quieter life. But Mila just wanted to disappear. The first day at Riverbend High was awkward. She navigated the crowded hallways, dodging curious glances and whispers. Most students ignored her, but one boy stood out. Noah, tall, dark-haired, with piercing blue eyes that seemed to see everything. He leaned against a locker, headphones in, scrolling through his phone. There was an edge about him, mysterious, dangerous, magnetic. Mila couldn't look away. At lunch, she sat alone in the cafeteria, watching him from a distance. He glanced up and met her eyes briefly before turning away. Her heart raced, and she felt a pull she couldn't explain. After school, while exploring the small town, Mila stumbled upon a quiet park. Noah was there, tossing a football with a younger boy. For a moment, he looked entirely different, gentle, protective, human. "Hey," she called, hesitantly. He looked up, surprised. "Oh, hi. You're the new girl, right?" "I'm Mila," she replied. He nodded, offering a small, almost shy smile. "Noah." They talked briefly, awkwardly, exchanging small pleasantries. Mila felt a strange connection forming, despite the walls he seemed to keep around himself. As she walked home, her mind spun with thoughts of him. Who was Noah, really? Why did he feel so untouchable yet real at the same time? And most importantly, what secrets was he hiding? Little did she know, that first spark of attraction would pull her into a summer of lies, danger, and choices that could change her life forever. Over the next few days, Mila tried to settle into her routine. School was tolerable, but her thoughts kept drifting back to Noah. He was everywhere, his presence in the halls, the quiet intensity in his eyes, the way he seemed to notice everything and yet reveal nothing. One afternoon, she found herself walking past the river behind the school, a place he frequented. To her surprise, Noah was sitting on a fallen log, sketchbook in hand. "Hey," she said nervously, approaching him. He looked up, a flicker of surprise crossing his face. "You again. I just wanted to say hi," she admitted. He closed the sketchbook slowly. "All right." For a few moments, silence stretched between them. Then he motioned to the log beside him. "Sit." Mila hesitated, then sat. She watched him for a moment. His hands moved deftly across the page, drawing something she couldn't quite see. "You draw?" she asked softly. "Sometimes," he said. "It helps me think." Mila nodded. There was something vulnerable in him, beneath the guarded exterior, and she wanted to understand it. "Do you want to talk?" He shook his head, almost reflexively. "Not really. Some things are better left in my head." She wanted to press, to ask what he was hiding, but something in his tone stopped her. She realized Noah carried secrets, deep, dangerous ones. And while curiosity pulled her closer, caution warned her to stay back. "I'll leave you alone," she said softly, standing. He shook his head. "No, stay." For a while, they sat quietly, watching the water flow. The sun dipped low, turning the river into liquid gold. Mila felt a connection growing, fragile but undeniable. "Why are you always alone?" she asked finally. He paused, his jaw tightening. "Because people, they get involved in my life, and then they get hurt. I can't let that happen again." Mila's heart ached. "I don't care about that. I want to know you." His gaze softened, but his eyes held warning. "Some things, you're not ready for." As she walked home, her mind raced. Noah was a puzzle, a storm wrapped in calm. She didn't know what his secrets were, but she knew they would change everything, and somehow, she wanted to face them. Little did she know, his past was about to collide with her present in ways she could never imagine. The weekend arrived, and Mila found herself wandering through the town again, drawn by the quiet streets and the sound of the river. She didn't expect to see Noah, but there he was, leaning against the railing of the old bridge, hands tucked in his pockets, staring down at the water. "Hey," she called softly. He turned, a faint smile tugging at his lips. "Hey." They walked together along the riverbank, speaking in small bursts at first, comments about the town, school, the weather, but slowly, their conversation deepened. Mila discovered that Noah loved music, played guitar, and had a talent for sketching that rivaled professional artists. He listened intently when she spoke, never interrupting, always making her feel seen. But the shadows in his eyes never disappeared. There was always a tension, a wariness, as if he carried a burden too heavy for his age. After a while, he stopped walking and turned to her. Mila, you need to know something. My life isn't normal. There are things I can't tell you, things that could put you in danger. Her heart skipped a beat. Danger? Noah, we just met. Why are you telling me this? Because I don't want you to get hurt, he said, voice low. You're important to me already, and I can't risk losing you before you even know me. Mila felt a rush of emotion, fear, excitement, frustration. So, what do we do? Do we stop talking? Pretend this connection doesn't exist? He shook his head. I can't. I just need you to understand that being close to me comes with risks. A long silence fell between them. Mila looked up at him, seeing not just a boy, but someone complex, someone who had lived with shadows she couldn't yet comprehend. I'll take that risk, she whispered. He stared at her, blue eyes searching hers. For the first time, a glimmer of relief crossed his face. Are you sure? I've never been more sure of anything in my life, she said firmly. For the first time, Noah smiled fully, the tension in his shoulders easing slightly. Then, we'll figure this out. Together. As they walked back toward town, hand brushing hand, Mila realized that this summer would be unlike any other. It wouldn't just be about friendship or first love, it would be about secrets, choices, and the courage to face them. And deep down, she knew their lives were about to change in ways neither of them could yet imagine. The days that followed were electric with tension. Every glance, every word between Mila and Noah carried weight. Their friendship had shifted, evolving into something fragile and intimate, but the shadows of Noah's past loomed over every moment. One afternoon, Mila received a cryptic text on her phone. Tell him to stop. She froze. She didn't recognize the number. Her stomach twisted. Who was this for, and what did it mean? She tried to push the thought away as she walked to the river, hoping Noah would be there. And he was, as always, sitting on the dock, sketching quietly. Hey, she said softly, sitting beside him. He glanced at her, frowning. Everything okay? Mila hesitated. I got a weird message. It said, tell you to stop. I don't know what it means. His eyes darkened instantly. He ran a hand through his hair, frustration evident. You shouldn't have seen that. I told you some things were dangerous to know. I didn't do anything, she protested. But Noah, I think someone is trying to warn you. Or me. I don't know. He let out a long breath, his gaze falling to the water. It's them. People from my past. I didn't want to involve you in this, but... He trailed off, jaw tight. Mila reached out, touching his arm. We're in this together. I don't care about your past, Noah. I care about you. And if that means facing danger, then, we face it. He looked at her, a mix of awe and fear in his eyes. You really don't understand what you're signing up for. I understand enough, she said softly. Enough to know I won't run away from you. For a long moment, he just stared at her. Then, slowly, he nodded. All right, together. But you have to promise me something. Anything. Promise me you'll listen. No matter what. No questions. No running off. Trust me. I promise, she whispered. And in that moment, their fragile bond strengthened. The danger looming over them didn't disappear, but now, they were united. Ready to face whatever secrets, threats, and storms came next. That night, Mila lay in bed, heart racing. She knew the summer had shifted from a simple adventure to a test of courage, trust, and love. And as much as she feared the unknown, she also knew she couldn't turn back. She was already in too deep. The tension between Mila and Noah grew as the days passed. He became more withdrawn, often disappearing for hours without explanation. Mila tried to be patient, reminding herself that he was dealing with things she couldn't fully understand. But worry gnawed at her relentlessly. One evening, she followed him after school. He didn't notice at first, weaving through backstreets until they reached an abandoned warehouse at the edge of town. Mila ducked behind a fence, her heart racing. Inside, she could hear voices, men's voices, harsh and low. Noah was talking, his tone serious, almost pleading. Listen, I told you I'm out. I'm done with this, he said. You're not done until we get our money, Noah. You know the rules, one voice growled. Mila felt a cold wave of fear wash over her. Noah's past was darker than she had imagined. These weren't just harmless mistakes, these were dangerous, violent people, and he was trapped. She wanted to run, to escape, but something in her chest pushed her forward. She couldn't let him face this alone. The meeting ended quickly. Noah emerged, tense, his face pale. Mila, you shouldn't have seen that, he said, his voice tight. I'm not leaving you, she said firmly. No matter what, we'll figure this out. He looked at her, torn between fear and relief. I can't promise it will be easy. I can't promise you'll be safe. I don't care, she said softly. I'm not running away from you or your past. For the first time, Noah allowed himself a small, genuine smile. You're insane, he whispered, shaking his head. No, she replied, matching his gaze. I'm in love with you. The words hung in the air, raw and heavy. Noah's eyes softened, but the shadow of danger never left his expression. He took her hand, holding it tightly. Then, we'll face this together. Whatever comes next. That night, Mila lay awake, thinking about the warehouse, the voices, the danger that lurked just beyond the town limits. She knew their lives had changed forever. The summer she had hoped would be simple and new was now a crucible of secrets, choices, and love. And somehow, she felt ready to face it all, with Noah by her side. The following days were tense. Noah and Mila tried to live normally, school, homework, brief moments together, but the threat from his past hung over them like a storm cloud. Every unexpected knock on the door, every strange car parked outside, made Mila's heart race. One evening, as they sat by the river, Noah finally opened up more. Mila, there's more to them than just threats. They've hurt people before. People I care about, and I can't let that happen to you. I know, she said softly, taking his hand. But hiding me won't protect me. Standing together will. He shook his head. I can't control what they do. I can only control my actions. I trust you, she whispered. And I'm not leaving you. Ever. Noah exhaled slowly, a mixture of relief and guilt in his eyes. You don't know what you're signing up for. I thought I could keep you safe by staying distant. You were wrong, Mila said firmly. Being distant only made me worry more. I care about you. And I'll face the risk. That night, they devised a plan. Noah had friends from his past who might help them, but it was risky. They would need courage, trust, and careful timing. The next day, as they walked home from school, Mila noticed a car following them. Her pulse quickened. She grabbed Noah's arm. They're here, she whispered. He nodded, grim. We'll handle it. Together. That evening, they met at a secluded spot near the old bridge. Noah explained the plan. He would confront the men from his past, but Mila would stay hidden. No, she said firmly. I'm not hiding. I'm facing this with you. His eyes widened. Mila, it's dangerous. You could get hurt. I don't care, she said, voice trembling but steady. You're my life now, Noah. I'm not leaving you. For the first time, Noah hesitated. Then he nodded, gripping her hand. All right, together. That night, the summer no longer felt warm and carefree. It felt like a battlefield, every choice weighted with danger and consequence. But in that storm, one thing was clear. Love had become their anchor, and trust their only shield. The night was thick with tension as Mila and Noah approached the abandoned warehouse where his past awaited. Every shadow seemed to move, every sound echoed in the silence. Mila's heart pounded, but she refused to back down. Noah glanced at her. Stay close. Don't speak unless I tell you. I'm not leaving, she whispered, gripping his hand. Inside, the air was heavy with dust and danger. Noah's enemies were waiting, figures cloaked in the dim light, their voices low and threatening. Noah, one of them hissed, you know the rules. You owe us. I know, he replied calmly, though his fists tightened. I'm ready to make it right. But I'm not alone this time. Mila felt fear curl in her stomach. She wanted to hide, to run, but Noah's hand was warm and firm. His presence anchored her. You brought her? One of the men sneered. She has no place here. She stays, Noah said firmly, his voice steely. I'm not risking her life by leaving her behind. Not this time. The confrontation escalated quickly. Voices rose, shadows moved, and Mila realized that danger was closer than ever. Yet through the chaos, she never let go of Noah's hand. Together, they faced the threat, a united front against the storm. In the midst of the tension, Noah whispered, Mila, stay calm. Trust me. I do, she replied. Always. Hours passed like minutes. Every move had to be calculated, every word measured. By dawn, the danger had receded, for now. Noah's enemies retreated, unable to break the bond and courage the two of them displayed. Exhausted but alive, Mila and Noah sat on the warehouse steps, hands intertwined. We did it, she whispered. For now, Noah replied. This isn't over. But, we're stronger together than apart. Mila leaned her head on his shoulder. Despite the fear, despite the chaos, she felt something she hadn't in a long time: hope. This summer had begun as a simple move to a new town. Now, it was a crucible of trust, love, and survival, and Mila knew that no matter what came next, they would face it as one. The days after the warehouse confrontation were tense, but Mila and Noah clung to each other more tightly than ever. The danger was still present, a shadow over every step, yet their bond had deepened in ways neither had expected. They spent the afternoons planning, making cautious moves to stay one step ahead. Noah's old contacts provided information about his enemy's movements, but the risk was constant. Every knock on a door, every passing car, felt like a potential threat. One evening, while hiding in a quiet park, Noah turned to Mila, his eyes serious. "We need to think bigger. They won't stop. If we're going to survive, we need a plan that works long-term." Mila nodded, determination flashing in her eyes. "Then we make that plan. Together." He hesitated, then whispered, "I can't promise it will be easy. There may be mistakes, and people could get hurt." "I understand," she said, squeezing his hand. "But I'm not backing down. I've made my choice. I'm here with you, through everything." For the first time, Noah allowed himself to truly believe it. He leaned closer, resting his forehead against hers. "You're incredible, you know that?" "Crazy," she replied with a smile, though her eyes were serious. "But I'm yours." They shared a quiet moment, the chaos outside momentarily forgotten. And in that stillness they found strength, not just in love, but in trust, courage, and the unspoken promise that no matter what, they would face the storm together. But the night was far from over. Later, when they returned home, a mysterious note was slipped under Mila's door. "This isn't over. You can't hide from the past." Her heart raced. She showed it to Noah immediately. He read it, jaw tightening. "They're not giving up. Not now. Not ever." Mila swallowed her fear. "Then we won't either. We fight. Together." That night, as they planned their next moves, Mila realized something crucial. Love wasn't just about happiness. It was about standing together, even when the world tried to tear them apart. And she knew that as long as she had Noah, she could face anything. The tension reached its peak one scorching afternoon. Noah's enemies had tracked him down to a small abandoned cabin on the outskirts of town. He and Mila hid inside, hearts pounding, listening to footsteps and voices growing louder. "Noah, what if they find us?" Mila whispered, clutching his arm. "They won't," he replied firmly, though his jaw tightened. "We've planned this. Stick to the plan, stay quiet, trust me." They stayed hidden for hours, barely daring to breathe. The sun dipped low, casting long shadows across the forest floor. Finally, the voices faded, leaving silence in their wake. Mila exhaled slowly, relief washing over her. "Is it over?" she asked, though part of her feared the answer. "For now," Noah said quietly. "But it's never really over. Not with people like them." He pulled her close, pressing a gentle kiss to her forehead. "You've been amazing through all of this. I don't know how I would have managed without you." "I'm not going anywhere," she whispered. "Not now, not ever." For a long moment, they sat in silence, letting the tension ebb away. Then Noah stood, taking her hand. "We need to leave this place. Find somewhere safe, regroup, and figure out our next move." Mila nodded. She felt the weight of exhaustion, fear, and adrenaline, but she also felt a fierce determination. Together, they left the cabin, disappearing into the growing twilight. As they walked, hand in hand, Mila realized that the summer that had begun with uncertainty and fear had transformed her. She wasn't just surviving. She was learning, growing, and standing strong, because she had Noah by her side. And even though danger still loomed, she knew they could face anything together. Love had become their shield, trust their weapon, and courage their guide. The summer wasn't over, and neither was the fight. But for the first time, Mila felt certain of one thing. They were unstoppable together. The morning sun streamed through the trees, casting a golden glow over the small town. Mila and Noah had found a secluded cabin far from the prying eyes of the people chasing him. For the first time in weeks, they could breathe without looking over their shoulders. Noah sat on the porch, guitar in hand, strumming softly. Mila leaned against him, her head resting on his shoulder. Silence stretched comfortably between them, a rare moment of peace. "You know," Noah said quietly, "I never thought I'd see the day when I could just sit Without fear. Mila smiled, lifting her head to look at him. We made it. Together. That's what matters. He sighed, running a hand through her hair. I owe you everything. I've dragged you into a world you didn't ask for. You've given me more than danger, she said softly. You've given me trust, love, the courage to face anything. Noah pulled her into a tight embrace. Then let's promise something, he whispered. No more secrets. No more hiding. We face everything together, always. I promise, she replied, tears glimmering in her eyes. For the first time in what felt like forever, they allowed themselves to imagine a future, not perfect, not free from obstacles, but theirs. Together. Weeks passed, and the threats slowly faded. Noah's enemies realized they were no match for the duo's courage and determination. Life in the small town returned to a semblance of normality. School, friends, and quiet evenings by the river became their sanctuary. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Mila and Noah walked along the riverbank. Hand in hand, they laughed softly, memories of danger and fear still lingering but no longer controlling them. This summer changed everything, Mila said, glancing up at him. It did, Noah replied, squeezing her hand. And you changed me. They paused, looking out over the river, the sky painted with streaks of orange and pink. The future was uncertain, full of challenges yet to come, but for the first time, fear didn't dominate them. Love, trust, and courage did. And as they walked back toward town, side by side, Mila knew that no matter what storms awaited, they would face them together. This summer had tested them, shaped them, and brought them closer than ever. It wasn't just a summer, it was the beginning of everything.